I don't cook.
Okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she so thirsty.
What's up, everybody? This is Jesse with My Truth. I'm your host with the most, and as you all know, and as you can see, I'm getting my hair done. I'm putting y'all into a little peek of my little piece of heaven. And for that, of course, I gotta make sure I get into the right hands. You don't let anybody and everybody touch your head now. At least I don't. They gotta make sure they got anointed hands. And that's why we got my beautician, Mesha, doing the heavenly thing that she does. But she's Mesha that keeps it real all the time. And I was here having a conversation with Mesha and my good friend Sean. And guess what? Mesha spilled some things to me that goes through my healing process. And she made me think about a lot of things right now. She said something to me really interesting. Actually, she said that we fall in love with the potential of the people that we meet. And as you all know, that is true. Because I've been honest about that. That is true. We see people in the light that we want to see them, when we're really not seeing them for who they really are. But in the midst of Mesha spilling wisdom to me, she told me something that I found interesting. And I don't want to be the one to tell the story. I want her to be the one to tell the story. So Mesha, I'm going to ask you the question. How does it feel starting over in life? Like being reborn in life?
It feels to me like I was in a time warp. I'm coming out of a time warp. And it's a huge adjustment.
So when you're talking about a time warp, a huge adjustment, challenges in life that happens for you, things that you dealt with, things that you're dealing with, but you're just working through it. But how does that apply to your mental state? How does that apply to you keeping it together?
I'm learning myself all over again. So mentally, sometimes I have anxiety, anxious. But because of what I went through, my situation, my experiences have taught me how to be tenacious and gave me a grit to just keep pushing through the tough times and see the good and the bad. Try to. That answers your question.
It answered my question, but I'm going to, of course, everybody knows that I like asking questions. So will you call yourself a survivor?
I do.
You call yourself forgiven?
Yes.
How that forgiving comes into play?
When I was 21, I had a robbery case, and I got sentenced to 25 years in prison. I served 21 flat years in prison. I got released in December of 21. I've been home for a little over 2 years now. And forgiveness to me looks like really me forgiving myself. Because coming to what we call from the inside the free world, I realized that a stigma comes along with being in prison. You know, even being released. Even though I'm released, there's still the background thing, the employment thing. You know, it's hard for me to find jobs. It's hard because of my background comes into play. And so I had to learn how to forgive myself, because every application, every job that I get, they want to know, what did I do? What happened? You know, so I had to really learn how to forgive myself so I can push past being reminded of what I did, even though I have been released from prison.
Was that a challenge for you?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a challenge for me, because I thought I forgave myself there. And once you leave prison, I mean, it's not like you want to be reminded all the time of what you did, especially when you were a kid.
True.
or when anybody does anything wrong, you don't want to be reminded of it. And so I just figured when I came out here, okay, it's going to be a fresh start. It's going to be a new start. I'm going to start over. I didn't know that every time, you know, I was going to be reminded, okay, you're out, you're free. You served your time. I thought that's what it was going to be. And I was going to get out and start fresh. But it's a constant reminder that, okay, I want to get a better job. I want a better education. I want to live in this apartment. I want to make more money, you know, and it's a reminder of what did you do? Can you explain? You know.
So hearing you talk kind of brings me back to a couple of things that I talk with Sean a lot of times is how do we forgive ourselves for mistakes that we make? If God already forgave us, why we can't forgive ourselves? Why we have a challenging and a hard time doing that? And you make a valid point. People tend to remind us of what we have done.
Mm-hmm.
The bad decisions, the mistakes that we have made. But if we can look at ourselves the way God sees us, then really what people think about us don't matter, right? Their opinion don't really matter because I see myself in the light that God sees me. So I learned how to forgive myself. I learned how to look at the flip side of things. So for some of you who may not know, I am a Christian. I'm a believer, regardless of whatever your opinion is because of the outlook. Outside appearance, inside God is what sees on the inside. Paul said that he had a thorn on his side. So really, if you look at it, even though people remind you of what you did, isn't that really what's keeping you closer to God? Isn't that what's keeping you holding on to God? It's not the negative of the reminder, but it's how you've been saved by grace. Because you said you did 21 years and you out here looking like you just came from a beach resort, girl. You look chilling. I've heard and I've seen people who done 10, 7, 6 years and they look a mess. So God's grace really kept you.
It did. It did.
And God's grace is still keeping you out here. Regardless of you having a challenge of finding maybe the good job, because one of the things that you said earlier was we fall in love with the potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not only relationship we're talking about now. You thought about the potential of how it looks coming out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a wake-up call of a reality.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, y'all know I like looking into the positive of things. The positive side of it is you're still striving. You're still pushing. You still have a desire. You still have ambition. You're not settling. You could do like everybody else who have no ambition, no goal, no support system, who just kind of fumble and fall into right back into the same thing, right?
Right.
But you're not. You are here hustling, working, doing your thing. Well, of course, you know, doing my big head. You're doing your thing. Dealing and creating new friendships, creating new relationships, creating a new community. Isn't that really what starting over looks like?
Yes. Yeah.
So would you say that it's safe for us to say that even though you came from a different path of walk of life, we all come from different ways, but we are going into the same journey, which is finding ourselves, finding our truth,
True.
being honest to ourselves of who we are and for people to accept us for who we are?
Mm-hmm.
Mesha,
Yes.
I appreciate you because you really helped me see things in a different light. You see, I complain about certain things, whether it be to myself or to my good friend Sean. Right, Sean?
Right.
But nevertheless, why complain? Because there are people out there who have it worse. And even for you, you don't complain. You know, out of the many interactions that me and you have had, I've never heard you complain. And you could complain, but you don't complain. Why would you complain? You're alive, right?
What's the point?
What's that, Sean?
What's the point of complaining?
First of all, ain't nobody want to hear you complain. That's what the whole saying is. But good friends, good support system, you're not complaining, but you are venting. You're getting it out.
Right.
Why? Because keeping it to yourself is the worst thing you could do. Whether it be venting to your friends, to your family, or a therapist. You got to find a way out, to get it out. Because those things kill you on the inside. Guilt kills you. The what if, what could have, what I should have. Don't dwell on that, right? We got to dwell on where we at right now and keep moving forward. Well, Mesha, I'm just going to let them know you're doing a heck of a job, girl, because my head is not hurting right now. But for all of you who may wonder why I express myself the way I do, is because life teaches you a lot of things if you allow it to teach you. If you pay attention to it. I had a good friend of mine who passed and gone, who always used to tell me, if you pay attention to the lessons, you will get what you need out of it. But if you don't, you're going to have to relive it over and over and over. And sadly, it took me a long time to realize that. And added to the fact that if I don't live my life, someone else is going to live it for me. So I don't want that. So thank you for tuning in. Stay true to who you are and let Mesha do her thing, because I got to stay fly all the time. Sean,
So,
hook us up, man.
with what?
Hey, y'all stay tuned, by the way. Sean gonna be on here with you guys pretty soon. Y'all be looking out for that, because Sean is a clown with a good heart. Deuces.